Oh, yes,
Everybody
you
should
are.
be jealous.
Probably everybody be jealous. Well, guys, I am sorry. It's been 30 minutes, well, 16 minutes past the time. We were out doing stuff and got back a little late, and then I was having issues with my phone trying to get the orientation of the screen to somehow adjust properly to where you can actually see the trains and not ceiling and everything else. So we're going to do a live update to something new that I've never really done before. And I would say it has taken me at least, what, Amy, like 10 tries to try to do the last update?
Yeah.
And no luck whatsoever. And so, literally, it's either we've been, very busy with family functions. Of course, we had the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. And then just busy with life, and obviously work has been very busy as well. And so also it's been a minute that I've really touched the layout. The only time I've done anything since the last update, we had some issues with these crossover switches. The frog juicers had some kind of bug in them, and then for some reason, when one of the trains derailed, they fried the decoder on the frog. So we either it was just because it was from the frog juicer, or there was something going on. But Tam Valley has been super helpful, and I would say also generous in allowing me to like mail back the juicers to see there's an actual bug with them. And so we'll see what happens with that. But I was, very fortunate with Tam Valley to help me out with that as well. As you can see, running here, we have a couple of trains running here tonight. And I just figured I'd put a couple of trains on. We have this Christmas train that's running on the very inside loop that's coming this way. And that's being ran by number 8014, which is a Pennsylvania Railroad H10. And that will be one of the first steam locomotives that the Penn-Reading Industrial Division took. And this steam engine will be featured in a new video, which will be a new roster video of the Penn-Reading Industrial Division. And so here it comes through now. Here is the train. So this is a Christmas train that is made by Model Power. If you guys remember Model Power way back in the day, that was exclusive from Train World. Back when the retail store was an actual physical store that you can actually walk in and buy trains. Now it's more of a warehouse and online, What do you call it? Right now it still has plastic wheels, and it's really wobbly. So there's some adjustments on some of these cars. So we've been, actually Amy and I have been very busy on building kits. Amy built more kits than I have, but we've been having a good time building model kits together. So there's a lot more upgrading that needs to be done. Metal wheels, better couplers, of course. A lot of them need to be weighted, and eventually we're going to get to weathering and painting, repainting, decaling. So there's a lot more to go. So I just picked a few of those, but I appreciate you coming along and hanging out with us, man. I was saying before, like this train here, this is from Model Power, and so, RJ the Rail Fan, how you doing, man? And oh my gosh, I just realized that's Around the Layout podcast. Ray, I appreciate you coming along. Happy New Year, buddy. Amy's waving her arms like crazy on the other side of the layout. So yeah, that Lehigh Valley is actually a car that was a kit. I can't remember when it's from. And so the car itself, it's a 1960s Lehigh Valley piece of rolling stock, and I'm still trying to find out more information on this as well. And RJ's talking about the layout. So this layout, this is called the Penn-Reading Industrial Division. Now, the Penn-Reading Industrial Division is a fictional railroad that runs from Philadelphia to Reading, Pennsylvania, up to Allentown. And it's based off the Penn-Reading Seashore Lines, which is a real railroad that ran from Atlantic City to Philadelphia. And so what I'm modeling here is the fictional portion of the rail line from Philadelphia to Reading. And this is one big town. This is a whole big town. Now, I have done a clinic called the One Town Approach with the National Model Railroad Association and the NMRAX clinic, which are their virtual clinics online that they have. And so this is the layout is featured in that clinic. It's just the one big town. And so what you have here is the Emma Industrial District. And this is where all the industries are on the layout. And the other side, on the other side of this divider, is the rail yard along with the roundhouse and the town of Emma. So if you cut this layout in half and made it long ways, so you know the layout's like this. We made it look like this. It would be like 28 feet long, and you can see like it looks like a whole town. And so where these trains are going, they're going eastward towards Philadelphia, where the other direction will be west to Reading, Pennsylvania. And so we're modeling the 1930s all the way up to the 1950. And from the 1930s to the 1950 is where the railroad was owned by the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Reading, and they owned the trackage between Philadelphia, Reading, and Allentown. And so they owned the track, they leased the locomotives, and so it will go to the 40s where it will reach Allentown, Pennsylvania during World War II because the Penn-Reading Industrial Division wanted to expand their operations to help the Lehigh Valley with the production of steel for the war, for World War II. And it wasn't until 1950s where after the war, you know, the railroads were starting to decline a little bit because of passenger service declining, and so the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Reading, they could not keep up with all the track maintenance and the rolling stock and leasing out the equipment. And so the state of Pennsylvania bought the track from the railroad so they can help their own companies starting to strive a little bit in the 50s into the 60s. And we know that in the 60s, things started to decline with the Pennsylvania Railroad, which eventually became Penn Central with New York Central, right? And so the state of Pennsylvania owned all the trackage. And then by 1950, 55, that's when the railroad became its own private company through private investors and railroad owners. And it became an independent company, bridging traffic from Philadelphia to Reading to Allentown. And they would bridge traffic to the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Reading, the Central New Jersey, and the Lehigh Valley. Up through this 1969 to 1971. In 1971, the railroad was absorbed into the Reading Company. And which brings us back to the real life. And so this layout features the 1930s to the 1950s. And my good friend Jonah Hemingway, he made fantastic decals of the railroad. And so we're in the process of decaling. So here is a boxcar of the Penn-Reading, and here's the logo. I don't know if it's in reversed in here, but I have pictures on my Facebook page. So you have the Industrial Way, which is the slogan for the railroad. And of course, we need to add more stuff here as far as reporting marks and some labeling. And here's the logo of the Penn-Reading Industrial Division. And this is the 1950s, and we have a lot more sheets to go and install stuff. So right now, it doesn't really look like much of a fictional railroad just because it takes time to decal and repaint and all that kind of stuff. But I'll show you here. We have even an 86-foot boxcar, which I'll grab. So here is a 86-foot boxcar, and this is the actual logo. Now my girlfriend Amy, she did a fantastic job with all the graphic designing. So she created the logo and all the coloring, and so this will be the 86-foot boxcar. And I just realized, just shut off on me. Oops. There we go. Hold on. Ah, much better. Shut the lights, brighten this down a little bit. There we go. And so this is the boxcar, and this is going to be the new paint scheme. Now we are working on a paint scheme for the 1960s. So eventually, this layout's going to be torn down the next few months. My lease is up on this place. Amy and I moving in together, and so we're going to take the time and in the interim between layouts, we're going to be building equipment. You. So Amy's making these awesome fudge cookies, and my smoke alarm loves to go off every 2 seconds when you just open up the oven. And so she's standing with a piece of O-scale track, and she's holding it just in case the alarm goes off. So she's like, "Sorry, everybody." So we're gonna be modeling the next year. We're gonna do a modeling. We're gonna start building a module that is going to be featured on the next layout, and we're going to be modeling the 1960s, late 1969. So it's right after the Penn Central merger, and it's going to feature the Penn-Reading Industrial Division in the diesel era. So we're going to feature GP30, C424s, GP7s, C630s, all the cool Alco stuff, and even up to the SD45. So that's going to be a lot of fun because I love big power. I love big diesel locomotives, and even the beauty of the 60s, you still had 1950s and even 1940s rolling stock. So you can see here, this would basically be a 1960s looking train. So I think this is pretty neat to have and to show what you can do. And plus, I won't have to buy a lot of new stuff or sell off, or I still could keep a lot of my friend DeRice's collection and still run the nice stuff from the 50s and the 60s. And yes, Ray, Happy New Year to you, and I'm glad you're here hanging out with us. This is awesome that you're on with us here. Folks, if you're not a fan or you haven't heard of the Around the Layout podcast, you have to listen to that podcast. Ray does a fantastic job interviewing the modeler, telling the story of the modeler's personal journey, along with all different kinds of topics, from weathering to operations to layout tour videos. I mean, it's awesome. And Ray and I did a interview back in October, and I believe October 28th. I can't remember the date, but it is episode 129, which is 129, and so we did a fantastic episode. And we look on the previous videos, his boxcar, the Around the Layout podcast ATLP 2022 boxcar, came to visit the Penn-Reading, and so we did a video showing in honor of Ray's boxcar and its travels around the country. So, Ray, thank you for all the hard work you do with the hobby, and we really appreciate it. I know folks are starting to come in here. We're doing like a little layout update, a live update, and man, I've been trying for the last month and a half to try to get something out, and it's been so busy. So I said, heck, I know folks are off today, so let's do about a 20-minute, 30-minute update on the layout. And so you can see not much stuff has really happened on here. I was saying earlier, the Tam Valley crossover, the frog juicers, there was a bug in the system with those frog juicers, and so Tam Valley's been super awesome and sending those back, and they're going to try to get those repaired. And so right now, everything's running off these Walther switches, like out of the box. And these are the DCC friendly switches, so they run really well. As you can see here, there's no problem. That's a Proto 2000 E8, and that's actually from my father. That's from my dad's collection. That's a Proto 2000 engine he had for years sitting in a box, and my friend Daniel Coombs, he was able to put a decoder in it, and it runs like a champ. It's one of the most smoothest engines on the layout, so that has been a blast to run. And I was saying earlier, this train set, this is the Train World exclusive from way back in the 90s. That's a model power set that my grandmother gave me for Christmas one year, and so we're able to put not metal wheels yet, but we put couplers on it for now, and so we're going to upgrade it with metal wheels hopefully very soon. I weathered a bunch of wheels, and now I have to clean off all the paint from the flanges, so that was pretty interesting. I'm trying to see what else here on this side. I was able to clean some of the track a little bit here, trying to get stuff operational. For some reason, I had screws sticking out of the sides on the other side of this divider, and so I wasn't able to get this building to fit for some reason, and so I had to cut off, drill off, saw off the edges of those screws. And I'm telling you one thing, it created a lot of sparks. I thought it was going to have the whole layout on fire by the end of the evening, but I'm glad it didn't. And so let's see, here they are. I was looking for that. Yeah, I want to look on the live chat. Here it is. No, go back. There we go. There we go. And so there's not much else happening here as far as this part of the layout's concerned. And so again, we're here. And now, actually, yeah, something else did happen. Let me try to grab it. No, that's not right. Here it is. And so we're able to add some LED lights to these buildings here. And let's shut this light off so you can kind of see it. So these LED lights are actually bought off of TikTok, believe it or not. And and also Amazon. So you can see here, if I shut the other lights off, I'm trying to get around, you can see a little bit. And these are just little LED lights that you plug in to charge, and you charge them, and they're all held by Velcro. And so it's a good temporary deal to have on the layout until we're able to get all the little tiny bulbs installed and hardwired into the building itself. But I figured this would be a good idea for now to have. You can see, really lights up the scene fairly well here. Just trying to move up a little bit. You can see this building. So it's just really LED lights that are inside the building here. That's all it is. And they're, I don't know, maybe an inch long. They're really small. I'll take one out to show you guys. But you can see here that we got a train coming in now. I'm trying to move it back here a little bit. So you got that there. So it gives a little nice effect, you know. And the cool thing is you can do all different kinds of colors. So if I want a green, I could do green. I could do blue. Everything blue. Everything moves. And we do static. Purple. Just go crazy. And these are great for, you want to add a little welding effects in your buildings, or you're doing a factory like something like this, you want to add something, and it's super bright, but go back like that. And so, and you could it's just using a remote. That's all you use. So I like those. They're pretty neat. Again, they're not going to be it's only temporary, but it gives you a nice little effect on the buildings here. You can see a little darkness to it. And just with the remote here, just make sure they're all off, and that's it. So let's go on the other side of the layout, and I'll show some stuff that's going on the other side of the layout. We'll go to the other side here. All right, you're coming with me, so hang on to your behinds. So there's not much else really going on this side of the layout, unfortunately. There'll probably be no more further work on this side, but it's a nice little scene from David Durbin. Some really neat stuff going on here with the waterfall. The train looks nice coming across the little bridge here, and the waterfall and Durbin Grove. And you see nothing really changed on that side either. It's all the same, except for that water tower. Amy's aunt was at a garage sale, and she actually picked up a few pieces of rolling stock and some cool little building deals that I think were pretty cool. And so that little water tower I think is really neat. Has a bulb on top, so I can't wait to put that on the future layout. I think that looked pretty cool. All right, so let's come over here and see what's new on this side. Now I have pictures of all the buildings lit up, and so they have to be recharged, so I don't have them recharged at the moment. We'll put the lights on in here so you get a better look. And I'm going to go around you guys, so excuse me. Let's go on this side here a little bit. Woo. All right. Okay, so we're going to go look over here. Again, not much work has been going on here. Been building this. Can you actually see it? So this is one of the overpass kits. I forget who makes it. I actually have another one that I need to build for this side. So before February, I'm going to build another one of those overpasses to go over the layout. So that one's been painted, and there still needs some touching up to do, but I'm trying to get rid of that little black look of that tunnel portal. The tunnel portal is technically not supposed to be there. It's just a cutout. So I may add some rocks and paint some rocks and just add something there to give it a little more of a rock tunnel style tunnel portal. So not much else going there really, except for that. On this side here, let's see what we got going on. Actually, I don't know if you can see that. Let's move over a little bit here. Yeah, this building lights up too, this is the office building. Oop. Stay. There we go. See, that lights up. I'll shut it off. So we have a little Christmas tree here that lights up. Did some photos, and also Amy's aunt gave me this water tower. So this will be the next thing that will be painted and weathered, and I'll still use it on the future layout. There were a lot of abandoned water towers that were all over the place, so it looked really cool to have one of these water towers there. Something new to add to the layout, because I love SC40 SC40 tunnel motors. This is the dummy unit from. Actually, am I even in the shot? I'm not in the shot. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Should get in the shot first, right? Oh, there we go. Now I got the trains running. And let me light this up a little bit. Up here. There we go. Much better. So this is a cotton belt SC40 tunnel motor, and I love tunnel motors. They're one of my favorite locomotives, and so I was able to pick this off of eBay. It's a Anthem Blue box, and so we're going to add all the details to it, and it will go nice with the SC45 that I have, and eventually I like to buy a Scale Trains SC40 tunnel motor. So that'll be a future project and a future train set that I like to make. And looking here, here's the water tower, and here we have a little Christmas tree. Got this at Dollar General for like $3. Able to put it together LED lights, and so here we have. If I can find the switch for it. There we go. Now lights up. There it is. You can see what's going on there. There you go. Looks a little better. And so here we got the you got the inside loop running. So you got the inside loop. The inside loop, I had the lead switch completely just did not work anymore. And so I had to replace it with another switch. So, my thing's stuck there. I gotta fix that. So over here, I had this lead switch that's right over here. And right before everybody came a couple of weeks ago to run trains, this whole switch went out on me. And so I was pretty bummed. I mean, thank goodness for great friends and an awesome girlfriend to keep me calm, because I don't know what the heck I was going to do. I was freaking out because I had 10, 15 people coming over to run trains and only 2 loops that were operational. So about, say, a week ago, I was able to get a replacement switch installed, and so it's over here. I can take this off and move this up a little bit. I'm wondering why this is not moving. It's uncoupled. There we go. So yeah, this is the new switch here. It's still got to be attached to the yard, so that'll be the next thing to do. Now we have our train show coming up on February 22nd for this year, and we'll have another open house. So I have a lot of folks coming over who are NMRA members, along with other model railroaders, and I believe the NMRA is actually coming in too. So that'd be really cool to have them, because I think we're going to have a table, because I am the area director for this part of the country. That includes Northwest Arkansas, Southeast Oklahoma, Southeast Kansas, Northeast Oklahoma, and just the southern part of Missouri, which includes Carthage, Missouri. And so it'd be nice to have the NMRA here, and we'll hang out, let's have a good time, an after party. And so there are some things I want to accomplish before that happens. And one of those things is add the coal tower that I'm currently building. Also finish up the fuel rack here, because that same fuel rack will be used on a future layout. Maybe hopefully get the turntable operable. That'll be the next thing. And the roundhouse, hopefully get that working and installed to have the steam engines come in and out. I have figures in there. There's a little bit LED light in there as well. It looks really cool, but you just can't see it. So the future layout, we're going to have the roundhouse section a lot closer. And don't forget, in the 1960s, a lot of stuff was still used all the way through the 60s and the 70s. So, I mean, even today, you still see roundhouses and turntables still being used. And so we'll have a roundhouse and turntable, the same one being used on the future layout. And so it'll be nice to have that a little closer where I can actually reach it. So I'm learning a lot of things, as you can see. Speaking of, these are some great smokes. JT's Mega Steam. I have Cinnamon Roll, Candy Cane Express, and Cold Burning. And I'm telling you, my steam engines smell magnificent with this stuff. And I think Amy agrees with me over there. So, also, speaking of train kits, Amy did a phenomenal job this past weekend. She built these straight show and Royal American show building kits from Walthers. And as you can see here, you have these two beautiful kits here. And this one's not moving because we got to fix the trucks on it. But other than that, these are some beautiful pieces. And as the train going by, she even put together this Penn Central grain hopper. She did all this in one night. She's unbelievable. She did a fantastic job. I mean, in fast, like within like 2 hours, 3 hours, she had like 6 kits together. So I think I'll have to pay her to put the rest of them, because I have like 50 of them. She's laughing. Speaking of kits, we're going to show you this one here. Move up this way. And right in front of this locomotive. Now this is a diner from Walters that Amy made, and she's gonna it's inspired. Well, she's actually gonna. What's the name of the restaurant, the diner, honey?
It's Presley's Drive-In.
Presley's Drive-In
Yeah,
in Jonesboro.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Amy has a sign of her the actual diner that she grew up, that her family used to go in Jonesboro, Arkansas, called Presley's Diner. And so she actually printed out the actual logo and the sign, so that will go on top of here. And so this will be part of our new layout, also new module for the future layout. And so she's currently still working on that building. She's doing a fantastic job on it. And we featured her florist building that she did last time. So this is a new building she's done. Um, Try to remember anything else. Again, not really much further work is going to be done on the layout except for some building kits, and just because there's no need to put more time, energy, and money into something that's going to be torn down. And so we're going to save that energy and that time in building kits. Also, we have Train Club, the Boston Mountain Model Railroad Association, and so we're building modules. So we're gonna be featuring more building and how-to videos in the future. That's for next year. Well, next year, excuse me, this year. It's already 2025. Look at that. That was fast. I need coffee. And so this year we're gonna have videos. We're gonna have a roster video featuring the locomotive roster of the Penn-Reading from 1932 all the way up to 1950, and then we'll do a second roster video featuring the first and second generation diesels up to the 1960s. And let's point down here a little bit. Here you can see the trains run a little bit. Um, and so yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time for sure. And hey Andy, what's going on, man? Happy New Year. Good to see you, buddy. Hope your layout's coming out really nice. Tim was telling me you've been hard work at it, so I know you've been busy with your job too. It's very time consuming for sure. But I heard you're doing really well, which is good to hear. And so yeah, we've been just having a good time, just running the trains. We're going to do that, and we've been working on those videos. We'll have more layout updates as I try to finish building some of this stuff before January 22nd. I'm sorry, February 22nd. But we'll see how far we will get with that. And but we're looking forward to moving to the future with the new layout in a bigger space. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a layout where it's around the walls and have folks hang out in the middle. Then try to do this one-way lap around the layout. I'm trying to think. Also, Amy gave me this beautiful Crescent Lines 86-foot boxcar for Christmas. And that's a Home Shops model, and now a lot of folks know Home Shops, and Chris Palmieri does a fantastic job with that company, it's his. And that Crescent Lines is based off the train club out of Louisiana, and our friend Ken Mason was president of that club. And so one of these days, we're going to go down and visit that club. But that's the Louis Schultz boxcar, and it's going to come back around here in a second, and that's a wonderful, wonderful layout, and you have to see that train club. And this boxcar is made by Tangent Models, and they do a pristine job, along with a lot of the other companies. Like I love 86-foot boxcars, so I have about maybe 40 86-foot boxcars in my collection and counting. They're just in boxes right now in storage for the time being until we can set up somewhere. But here comes the car. I mean, look how beautiful the crisp paint scheme. And we're kind of sad because all the other ones are unavailable as far as the 86-footers. You got the Chinook lines, which our friend Joe Bohannon's a railroad. There's like that Maryland Midland or something like that. There's a few of those 86-foot boxcars, but we're going to be featuring an automotive industry on the next layout, and so we will feature a lot of the 86-foot boxcars. That'll be cool to display them and operate them. And actually, speaking of display, let me find something here for you guys. We never had hot chocolate yet. Oh, there. You had the cookies without me? Oh, boy. No, wait a second. I think these folks want cookies too. But all right, so these are our new stickers. Now, some folks have received these. So we have a few of them. So this is the come up this way a little bit here. So this is the Boston Mountain Model Railroad Association. This is our train club in Northwest Arkansas. So we have that sticker there. We made another Penn-Reading sticker, so some folks are probably receiving this one too. This is the only way is the industrial way, which is the slogan and the motto of the railroad. And so we made it look like a 1950s style font for that one. Then we have the Crow Mountain and Gallup Creek. This is one from our good friends, our good friend David Durbin, who passed away 2023, and actually his layout will eventually be featured on Ken Patterson's model. What's neat this month for model railroad hobbyists, and so our good friend Maribeth, who is David Durbin's wife. She does a fantastic interview showcasing her husband's layout, which is still in operation. Folks are still coming this week and next week to operate it, and we're able to get it operated, which was really awesome. And so Amy did a fantastic job on creating a logo with these beautiful graphics for his fictional railroad, the Crow Mountain and Gallup Creek. And then we have Chicago Beltline, and this is from Darius Chagnan's fictional railroad that he started in the 1990s, and that was featured, I believe, in Layout Design Journal. And on that same article that he wrote the article on, even has Joe Fugate Siskiyou lines on it, so that's really cool. And there's a lot more about Darius, my friend Darius, and the Chicago Beltline if you listen to our interview with Ray Arnott on his Around the Layout podcast, which is episode 129. So Darius finally has a sticker on his fictional railroad. And then Amy did a fantastic job creating a beautiful sticker on the Maple Leaf area NMRA, for our little area here in Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. And down here it says, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, Northeast Oklahoma, Southwest Missouri, and Southeast Kansas. And so, the beautiful thing here is, the cool thing too, obviously you have the tracks, and then you have all the 4 states that the Maple Leaf area is included in. So that's really awesome. So she did a fantastic job with that. Let's see here. Trying to catch up on the chats. So we have Diane from Northern Star. Thank you, man, for coming out. And we have, man, how you doing, Rob? So anybody who knows HO Scale Model Trains, this guy has an awesome channel. He has a massive layout, and I love the guy, and because he's also a veteran. So Rob does a fantastic work on his layout. He does a lot of Virginia, Ohio, and I believe nickel plate, but basically I think it's based on mostly the Virginia Railroad. And he has a great channel too, great layout, and that's one story that I'll like to hear sometime on how he started. But yeah, Rob, dude, you got to do a update. That'd be awesome, and do a live. That'd be fun because he comes out with, I think you come out with a video every couple of days on your layout. And you're welcome, buddy. And yeah, Ray, I heard you weren't feeling well. I'm hoping you're feeling better. I'm glad you got them, and the physical one should be coming to you soon, as far as the stickers are concerned. But yeah, I forgot about this too. And every time I tried to do an update, I kept forgetting something in my video. So I just said I'm going to give up and just look what I got here and do it. So this is something that's really cool. Trying to move up a little bit. So I found this on eBay. This gentleman did a beautiful little diorama on looking at an old scrap GG1, and I think this is killer. Look how beautiful that is. And I mean, he was selling these for next to nothing on eBay, and it's off a little glass plate here. And I mean, look at that. And like, it took a shell, and I mean, eventually we're going to use this and probably next to the roundhouse at some point on the next layout. But right here, it's next to the roundhouse. Right. I mean, yeah, it's kind of kind of off the ear a little bit to have a scrapped GG1, but you never know. Could have been in a wreck, and that's why it's here, and so it's just collecting rust for the time being. I don't know, but I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Something else. So, unfortunately, one of these little dudes took a tumble off the table. Yes, and Happy New Year, Eugene. Man, I appreciate it. So this took a little tumble off the table. The good thing is, though, it still works. It still runs. The code is good. We're getting a new shell coming in, and so all I got to do is take this top cab shell and just pop it brand new and be all right. So that's part of the Penn-Reading. So that's some of the new locomotives, and so I'm trying to remember what else I got here going on. Oh yeah, and so these were from the RPM meet in St. Louis. And I'm becoming a lover of brass, especially how inexpensive it is. But these are two brass F units, and these are the dummy units. The motor wasn't good in it at all, but I got them both for $100. And so the next job, the next deal is going to be ending all the details and stuff and weathering it. But you know, some beautiful models, you know, especially for brass, and they have some weight to them. So I'm loving the brass stuff for sure. I'm trying to think what else. Can you think of anything else, Amy? No? So I think that's pretty much it, right? Let's try to get this back on tracks first. There we go. All right. And so, here we got more viewers too. It's wonderful. You what? Oh yes, and Amy, she says she's working on the hobo scene, and actually, well, it's on the other side. I'll try to grab them for him. So here's if you know Bernard from Mini Prints, he does a deal at train shows where you scan it and you can create your own mini me. And so here is a mini me of me, and so this is Amy did some fantastic work painting me as a railroad conductor. I try to have Bernard to slim me down a little bit, and I figured we could do that. I'll just use a little file, right? Make me look thin, have biceps and everything. Awesome. Amy's like, whatever. But hey, Willow Creek, how you doing? Happy New Year. And so also you could purchase a mini me of me and a mini me of Amy. What do you call it? Amy also did a scan as well at the RPM meet in St. Louis with Bernard. And so Amy, if you see a figure of a beautiful young lady holding and reading a book, that's Amy. So you could purchase one. We're gonna paint one of her and have her on the platform here. But if you like a husky conductor on your railroad, definitely purchase one from Bernard. And there's a lot of us dudes and gals on there too. So make sure you collect them all. It's like Pokemon. Got to catch them all, you know. And speaking of figures, Amy's doing a beautiful job painting figures. So she painted a lot of these down here. And so, let's see here. I'm trying to get all these. You must have a nice minimum radius to run such long rolling stock. You know, that was the number one goal, was for me to have the wide curves. When my friend Rise passed away, I was entrusted his train collection, and he modeled the Pennsylvania Railroad. And of course, and he modeled the 1930s and 1945. And so in the 40s, you know, were mostly steam engines. And so I have in his collection some M1As and the J1s and, you know, and the T1s, and they're big steam engines. And so in order to accommodate those steam locomotives to run on the layout, I had to have wide curves, and therefore the layout had to be at least 6 feet wide, so I could accommodate 32-inch curves on the outside. So you got 32-inch on both outside and in the middle loop, and the inside is roughly like 28 on the very inside. And so because of the curve radius and having a place that's large enough to run, I was able to finally collect my favorite box car, which are the 86-foot box cars. And so it's really nice to have the longer piece of rolling stock and locomotives to run on a layout without really derailing. I mean, my curves aren't the best looking curves. If you see them, you go, oh my gosh, like, you know, that's something I'm definitely going to be working on in the future, is really creating really nice curves. And actually, Rob from HO Scale Model Trains, he has some awesome videos on how to create curves, because he does spectacular work. Like, if you look at his track work, there's like not one kink in his curves. So I may just have to fly in Rob to install the curves for me. Yeah. see, Rob Gus said this should be the Amy highlight show. She's sitting on the couch reading a book, so she's a little shy at being in front of the camera. She's not used to that yet. She likes being behind the scenes mostly, but we're gonna change that soon. So, is that Lori that's here too? Happy New Year to everybody, by the way, if I missed anyone. Oh, Star Trek. I haven't watched Star Trek in forever. I still got to get into the old Star Trek. I like the new ones. I've been a Star Wars fan, but old Star Trek is really good too. And so, actually, Amy never saw Rocky, and so we've been watching the Rocky movies recently. And so, I think after this, we're going to watch Rocky 4, and everybody knows how good Rocky 4 is. So, we'll be doing that and having fudge cookies, right? Yeah, she's jumping up and down in a chair. Yeah, she does some. Your wife does incredible work. And super supportive, because your layout is like one of the largest private lands I've ever seen. I mean, it was really cool. What's his name? Georgia Bell did a great video on showcasing your layout too, Rob. I'm trying to think of what else here. Because a lot of these buildings will probably be used in the future. We're not sure yet. We want to get more into scratch building and some more of the wood, as well as was it resin kits? Is it called resin? Resin and hydrocal kits, like plaster kits. I mean, plastic ones are really nice. They're really good to start with, but we really like, the goal is to really make the layout look like Tom Johnson's layout. And so, if I had more time on this layout, that would be the goal. A lot of the stuff they see is just temporary to have something set up. I was really going to go even further with details, but it'll really be nice, because the next layout is going to be modular, and we'll build it piece by piece, and so that would help us to concentrate on adding details to each module as we go along. And so I think we're going to have more fun doing that for the next one, for sure. And let's see. Yeah, Anthony's video. Yeah, Anthony from Georgia Belt. If you guys don't follow his channel, follow Anthony's channel, Georgia Belt. He's a fantastic dude. And actually, Ray, that's a story. That's a good interview you can do with Georgia Belt along with Rob. You get a chance, because they have nice stories about the railroads and the stuff that they model. And Georgia Bell, he goes all over the place with everybody, and he knows a lot of the folks out there, and especially like the Northeast area. And he think he's from Georgia. So, anyways, East Coast, all the same. But anyway, I think that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I appreciate everybody coming along here. This is really awesome. It's like having you guys hanging out with me in my little space here. Georgia Sunbelt. Okay, Georgia Sunbelt. Excuse me. Yes, thank you for the correction. Yes, the Georgia Sunbelt. He has a really great channel. But again, just I appreciate everybody being here. This is awesome. And I guess I could go on video. Just say hi to everybody. But I really appreciate everything. And again, Happy New Year to everybody. And yes, thank you for your time to come and hang out with us. We're going to be having folks here probably next few months, and then we'll start taking down the layout. So, again, there'll be some more how-to videos this year. We're planning on more how-to videos. and it'll be really nice to do some updates on the module that we're going to be building, along with the module that we're going to be working on with the train club too. So there's going to be a lot more content this time around. But other than that, guys, take care, and hope to see you soon. Have a great 2025, and appreciate everybody being here. You guys take care. I want cookies.